Here we go. So this is the welcome to the launch show for Super League Raw. A little concept that both myself and my good friend Greg, who's on with me, have come up with. And what this is all about is basically celebrating the game that is rugby league. Both myself and Greg have been watching pretty much all of our lives. It's a sport that we're both very, very passionate about. And we believe that it should be celebrated correctly in mainstream media, and that's why we're doing what we're doing. What we're trying to do is get the fans to basically come together every game day to promote their teams. That's what it's all about. So what we're looking for in the first instance is representatives from all 12 Super League clubs that will come together on game day. We're looking at doing like a goggle box for rugby league. So remember the fan zone that Sky did for football? That's what we're hoping to achieve here, where supporters will watch the game together, have a bit of banter along the way, obviously respectful banter, of course. And we think it could be quite entertaining because, Greg, it's fair to say we both get a little bit annoyed in terms of the commentary on Sky, don't we?
Yeah, just a little. Yeah, going back to what you said, Dave, about coverage in the media. Watching BBC News this morning, Mike Bushell didn't mention that Super League was being launched at all this morning. Yeah. 7 minutes talking to a triathlon in his conservatory. And nothing about rugby league. I mean, you know, who in the right mind does a triathlon? You run a marathon, you bike a marathon, and you swim a marathon. Yeah. You know, rugby league players do more than that in 80 minutes on a pitch.
Yeah. Well, I mean,
and that's the thing. You know, that's the thing that gets. Yeah, we're not fans of the Sky commentary tonight. Was the things I've learned tonight. Saints won the grand final in the last minute last year. Wigan were runners-up in the grand final last year. And I've got to say, what a tremendous mullet.
Oh,
for the lead number 6.
Paul Bishop in disguise, wasn't it? Paul Bishop.
That is an absolute tremendous mullet.
Yeah, no,
you've got to say that is something special. So that is, it takes courage and determination to go out looking like Chrissy Waddle in 1986.
I would say. Yeah. But yeah, no, obviously, you know, opening 2 games have been and gone, both Saints and Wigan, grand finalists last year, winning. I think it's fair to say, I think the Saints score probably flattered Saints. I didn't see it that big a difference, if I'm being honest. I thought Salford, certainly for the first 60 minutes, were competitive.
Yeah. I think Saints just got away at the end.
Yeah, and Lee, you know, did exceptionally well and certainly put a scare on Wigan.
That league game tonight reminded of us against Salford last year when we put the kids out.
Yeah,
and we kind of ran away with it. The enthusiasm and the energy and the you know that kind of bravado, if for want of a better word, took us into an 18-0 lead. Or I can't remember, was it 18 or 16-0 lead? And just experience and whatever just took its toll at the end of the day, I think.
Well, I posted.
Same with the Wigan game.
Yeah, well, I posted. I mean, obviously, we've got the Facebook page up and running. Everything's branded Super League Raw, and it is going to be raw. You know, we're not polished, are we? You know, we haven't got a studio. We don't claim that our commentary is going to be any good. It's just a bit of fun, a different slant. I think for me personally, what's fantastic about Super League is the fans and the banter between the fans. It's very respectful. I think the fans know the game incredibly well. I think, unlike many sports, I think rugby league fans have got incredible knowledge of the game. You know, and I'd like to just maybe I believe that we are, in some respects, the best to promote it as fans, because, you know, for me personally, there is no finer game to watch as a spectator sport anywhere in the world.
That's anybody who's never in the world, mate.
Yeah, you know, I mean, to play is one thing, but I mean, as a spectator sport, you know, how many drab games of football do you see? It's very seldom you see a drab game of rugby. There's always something in a game of rugby that you just you go away with. You certainly don't feel shortchanged having watched a rugby league match.
Yeah.
So, hence the reason why we're doing what we're doing.
I agree.
Is going to be good fun. So, what we're going to be doing, like I say, it's going to be.
Yeah. I mean, when was the last time you saw it?
Go on, mate. No, go on, mate.
You carry on, Dave.
No, go on, mate.
Don't mind me.
I was going back over old ground. You crack on.
You take over, Dave. I don't care.
Right, well, I will do that. So, yeah.
So, Greg was talking. I forgot what I was going to say now.
Right.
Yeah.
When you think about it.
When was the last time you saw a 0-0 draw in rugby?
Yeah, I mean, exactly. I mean, it is the best sport for me personally. As a spectator sport, it deserves to get far greater praise. Certainly, the players deserve to be, applauded, revered more by the general public than they actually are. I mean, these guys, what they put the bodies through. I mean, tonight, for example, John Bateman there. How that wasn't an ACL, I will never know. It just shows how fit he is.
I texted you, didn't I? Said that's his season over.
Yeah,
that's his season over. It looked nasty. Yeah. What's his name? That new Saints signing, he got cleaned out.
Oh yeah. Oh dear.
That was
it's the new one, isn't it?
Yeah.
Let me just have a quick check.
What's
his name? It's where is he?
We're all experts.
Is it Pacey? Pacey?
Is it Parsi or is it the other guy?
Welcome to Super League. Have a seat, son. The waiter will be coming shortly with the menu.
Where's it there? I'd like to present you with your teeth, sir. Enjoy.
Yeah, I mean, it was poorly, wasn't it?
Shouldn't laugh,
No, we shouldn't.
The lad got up. If that happened to me, I'd have. God, blimey.
Well, I mean, the mad thing about that is that and it's not. Look, if you look at a footballer, for instance, and you look at that challenge tonight, you wouldn't have seen him for 3 months on a football field again. And the John Bateman one, I mean, the fact that he gets up and then goes on to play another 20 minutes. Yeah. He'd have been dragged off in football and probably given 3 weeks of rest. And that's what these guys put the bodies through. And I think that, it's fair to say you've got the Warrington shirt on there. Yeah, we are Warrington fans, but we respect every team and we certainly respect good players. And Bateman tonight for me,
outstanding. He was the difference, John Bateman.
Yeah, brilliant.
He was the difference. I mean, he created the first Wigan try?
Yeah, that was like it was like the basketball pass, wasn't it? Absolutely brilliant.
He's learned from his experience in Australia, and he's come back. He was a good player anyway.
Yeah.
And that hurts as a Warrington fan to say that, but he was a good player. He's gone to Australia. He's come back a better player. A bit like Mike Cooper when he went to Australia, he came back a better player.
Yeah, I mean, there's not many players that go over there and rip it up, and he certainly did. And I think that Wigan this year with Bateman in the team. I mean, look, it's round one. For me, it could have been his season over tonight, and he's got to be. If you were going to put a bet on Man of Steel, he'd be in your top 3 now. Who you think could actually go on to be Man of Steel this year?
I'd be surprised if he wasn't. I'd be really surprised if he wasn't. I mean, fair play to Leeds. He gave a good showing.
Yeah.
Wigan, they're really unlucky, Wigan, because they always start every Super League season with a load of injuries, and thankfully they always get fit for the playoffs at the end of the season and they run into the grand final. It's tough for them, all those injuries early doors, every season.
But that's it though, Lee.
Slightly ironic.
If you looked at Lee's squad, I mean, I had a look at, because obviously I get the rugby league and you look at the squads and the squad numbers. I don't profess to know Lee, intimately as Lee fans will, but when you actually look down Lee's squad numbers, there's a few in there tonight that weren't playing. So they weren't at full strength, which again, and this is the thing about Sky. I think about 70 minutes in, 75 minutes in, they start talking about all the Wigan players that weren't playing, which is fine, and that's a fact. But if you're going to do that, at least balance it by saying, but actually, fair play to Lee, because they too are missing X, Y, and Z, and they just don't do that.
But they did also mention that it's 12 months since Lee played a game, a competitive game. Yeah. They've had the friendlies against us and against Saints.
Yeah.
But you gotta hold your your hands up and say fair play, Lee.
Yeah, I do.
And
I
do
would
you
say
know
so.
what? It wouldn't be unlike us that Lee will turn up next week and beat Warrington.
Yeah. Yeah.
You can see it happening. I mean, I actually had a feeling that Lee would beat Wigan tonight. I don't know why. When you get one of those feelings that say, you know what, I think Lee could do that. And for 70 minutes, I was right.
I've read quite a lot of the rugby league press over the last couple of weeks, and it's fair to say he's gone to Huddersfield. A lot of people expecting Huddersfield to go far this season because of the Watson factor.
Yeah, and I wouldn't be surprised. Made some good signings.
Yeah.
This time last year, if Price had said he was leaving at the end of last year, would Ian Watson have been our coach this season?
Possibly.
It's a new club. I mean, he's a bit of a legend at Salford, and rightly so. He's took them to a grand final, to a Challenge Cup final. He turned them around. He's obviously a talented. He was obviously a talented coach at Salford. Let's hope he does it at Huddersfield.
Yeah.
Huddersfield are a team that should be doing better than they are, really. And Huddersfield are a team that should be pulling in more fans. It amazed me when they were in the Premier Division, when Huddersfield Town were in the Premiership, they'd packed that ground out, and yet they've had a top flight rugby league team for how many years?
Yeah,
and they get 3,000 or 4,000 in there. That's something seriously wrong with marketing and PR at that place. If even now they're getting bigger crowds in rugby league and football, and they're not top flight. What's going on?
Yeah, but the thing is though, mate, I think that's not just Huddersfield, that's Super League in general. We've already said this football stroke rugby league bit. I mean, as a spectator sport, as family entertainment, for me, there's no better game than rugby league. And yeah, you're right, at a local level. And I remember when Super League first began, Bradford Bulls were the team that got the marketing bit right. They absolutely blew it out of the park. And I think it's fair to say, in recent times, Warrington have been applauded for the antics of Wolfie and flying planes and all of that kind of stuff that we've seen that, Warrington to do. But the problem is, and even Warrington, it stop-start. And I think what all of these teams need to do is get a bit of consistency in the marketing and really celebrate the product that we've got. I mean, it's just, for me, there'll be people in this country who've never watched a game of rugby league. Yet, they'll go to Wembley and pack Wembley out to watch American football. What's all that about?
Yeah.
What is all that about?
That was in no way a dig at Huddersfield fans. I've got a lot of time for Huddersfield fans. Yeah. Great respect when they showed the flag when we were won the league. A few years back, they had a big flag saying "Congratulations, Warrington." A lot of respect for Huddersfield fans.
Yeah, I agree.
I just wonder, that sums up rugby league. And you're right with saying about American football selling Wembley out.
Yeah,
96,000 fans go to Wembley to watch American football.
Travesty.
65,000 to watch the showpiece final for rugby league. With the top tier of the national stadium closed.
When we were kids, obviously Challenge Cup finals were standing room only. Absolutely standing room only. But again, I think we had this conversation on the Challenge Cup last year because, obviously historically for the last, I don't know how many years now, it's been Bank Holiday Monday in August. And of course now they're moving that forward or the intention was last year to play it in July. And I actually think that was a good call because the Premier League starts at the beginning, mid-August. So you've got, and whether we like it or not, rugby league fans are football fans, and we know that the allegiance in this country is always going to go to the football.
Always going to be fine. Football.
Always going to be. So to actually compete, bank holiday weekend, two, the Premier League season's probably 2 weeks in. You're on an absolute hiding to nothing. So the fact that they brought the Challenge Cup back into a part of the year where football isn't there, it's the start of the summer holidays, not the final bank holiday before Christmas. I think that could be a real lifesaver for the Challenge Cup, and I'd be interested to see when we finally get back to being able to go and watch sport live, what the gates are going to be like over the next 3 seasons compared to the previous ones.
Yeah, I don't think we can count this season because I think they limited it to 20,000. They've said this year.
Yeah, exactly.
So we can't count this season. That's fair enough.
But again, sorry, mate.
Sorry, go on.
But again, on the topic of the Challenge Cup and why we love this sport as much as we actually do, and it's the same for the grand final. You go to a challenge, for those people who don't go to watch rugby league, you go to a grand final, you go to a Challenge Cup final. It's a celebration of rugby league. Virtually every single jersey, whether it be York, whether it be Catalan, whether it be Hull, teams that are not even in the final, it's a celebration of rugby league. People go to these, sit next to opposing fans. You hardly see, no trouble. It's very well respected. It's a family sport, and on the field is phenomenal entertainment. So this is why we're doing what we're doing, isn't it?
Yeah, exactly. I mean, I used to teach in Liverpool when I used to talk about the Magic Weekend. 12 teams playing at one venue over a weekend, 12 different teams with the fans mingling, and football fans in Liverpool couldn't believe that could happen in a sport. Yeah. I used to say, could you imagine having a Magic Weekend in football in the Premiership at Wembley with United, City, Liverpool, Everton, Spurs, Arsenal, Chelsea fans?
Yeah,
you wouldn't get the same. And no disrespect to those fans either, but you wouldn't get the same. You would get trouble
all day. But
you would get trouble.
But again, but it's about the culture, isn't it? Because the same people who watch football watch rugby league, but they behave differently when they go to a rugby league match. It's the culture of the sport. That's what it's all about. But again, to put context into it as well. You go to the Magic Weekend, you go to the Challenge Cup final. People are having a couple of jars. When the Magic Weekend goes to places like Newcastle, all the hotels are booked. You've not only got people mingling in the stadium, you've then got people from all areas of the country with different allegiances going into the town at night and having a proper bit of crack. That's what happens. That's the reality of it. You just couldn't never imagine that in football. You just couldn't.
And similarly, I could walk around Widnes or Wigan or St Helens with a Warrington shirt on. I've seen people wandering around Asda with Wigan shirts on and Saints shirts and Widnes shirts. And, I couldn't imagine walking around Liverpool with a United shirt on or vice versa.
No. And the good thing is when you see those people, it's almost like they want the crack, because you end up having a little bit of a hey up, and
it's that little look in it.
Of course it is. You have a bit of sport of it. So anyway, we've done Ian Watson, we've done Huddersfield. Obviously they play Hull this weekend. Big shout out to Brett Hodgson. We wish him well. One of the best fullbacks that we ever had. It'd be lovely to see him do well at Hull this year. But before we move on to players that we're looking forward to seeing, it'd be amiss of us not to just have a quick. We're talking about coaches. Steve Price deciding to leave Warrington at the end of the season, and within days of that announcement, Darryl Powell of Castleford announces that he'll be moving on from Castleford at the end of the season. 2 and 2 people are making 5 at the moment. What's your thoughts? Is Darryl Powell going to be the new Warrington Wolves manager at the end of the season?
It could very well be. And, I've been reading social media and there are a lot of kind of mixed responses to it. I think Darryl Powell will be a good Warrington coach. I know there's a lot of Warrington fans who don't think he would be. But, we're not going to get Craig Bellamy. We're not going to get a top class Aussie coach. And that's, again, not being disrespectful in any way. I'd be very, very surprised if we did. We're not going to get Sean Wayne. He's not going to come to Warrington. He's Wigan through and through. And he's the England coach. So I think if it does happen, I think Darryl Powell will be good. Can he win us a grand final? We said that about Tony Smith. When we got Tony Smith, he turned the club around. And he turned us into winners. But he couldn't get us over. And he was the best coach in rugby league at that time.
Yeah.
And he couldn't get us over the line.
No.
I think, if Darryl Powell's our next coach, he moans and he groans, but, he'll fit in well at Warrington because that's all we do, moan and groan. He slags referees off, so he'll do for me.
I think the only other, the only other logical coach at this moment in time that you can think of who's got the pedigree to go into Warrington is probably Brian McDermott, I would say.
Yeah. I
You
mean,
know,
again, a proven winner.
yeah.
He's won grand finals with Leeds, and he did a good job at Toronto.
Yeah.
All right, yeah, and it's exceptional circumstances around Toronto with the players they were allowed to bring in and stuff. But yeah, I mean,
if you had a choice, let's say that they're the top two candidates, you had a choice, who'd you go with?
I would, if I had to pick one, I'd go with McDermott.
Okay.
Because he's won grand finals, but I wouldn't be unhappy with Darryl Powell.
Yeah. Okay. I actually go the other way.
Yeah, fair enough.
And the reason I go the other way, and it's probably very unfair on Brian McDermott this, but when Sinfield retired, it unravelled for Brian McDermott. I think Kevin Sinfield in that Leeds team, I think we all say Sir Kevin Sinfield, no matter which allegiance you've got, probably, I would say, arguably one of the greatest rugby league players of any era. Absolute incredible player. So, I just question that. Were Leeds successful because, everything fell into place, exceptional talent, exceptional teams, or was it Brian McDermott? Whereas if you look at Darryl Powell, with a very, very shoestring budget, he's managed to really be competitive over the last few years. And you have to say, the brand of rugby league that Darryl Powell plays is Warrington Wolves Rugby League. That's the way I see it.
You make a good point, yeah. As I say, if you push me, I would go for McDermott. That can get us over that what.
So it's just coming to my head now, and this is exactly why we're doing what we're doing, right? What was I reading?
I'm laughing. I don't even know what you're going to say.
You don't even know what I'm saying. I can't even remember what publication this was in, but it made me howl. So a journalist is writing about rugby league, and he starts talking about Michael Shenton at Castleford,
right?
And he actually called him, a one club man. Forgive me, I remember him in a St. Helens shirt, didn't I?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm reading it, thinking about these people are writing about our sport, and they haven't even got the respect to do proper journalism. I mean, obviously, you're a journalist. I mean, you've been an ex-journalist. Yeah, but you are a journalist. I mean, how disrespectful is that? For a journalist to write a piece without doing the proper research. How disrespectful is that?
It's a problem we get. It's to a lot of, and I hate to say this as an ex-journalist, but rugby league's a bit of a cliche to them. We're a working class cliche. And you even listen, going back to the commentary on Sky tonight, it's always big Alex Walmsley. It's always big, and it's always Regan Grace, fastest man in Super League. Is that on the birth certificate? Because that's all you call them.
But it's like going back to the Steve-O days, isn't it? You can always remember 2 minutes to go, Steve-O saying kick over the top. It's just like, it's almost like on repeat, wasn't it? I'm sure they've got buttons in front of them. Right, it's that time for that cliche. Let's press that button there. It's just like, come on.
But you know what? I do miss Eddie and Steve-O, and I never thought I'd say that.
Well, I think that's probably more of a reflection on the current team as opposed to how good they were. I mean, we watch the NRL. I mean, that's commentary. That is. I mean, and that's what's missing over here. They commentate in the NRL. Not only is it a better product, it's a brilliant game over there. It's a closer, the teams are closer. Fantastic brand of rugby league, but the commentators equally make it. The passion, the enthusiasm, it comes through. Whereas over it's almost monotone. I mean, it's like that. It's like that.
You zoned out there, Dave.
Did a zone.
You went. You felt like it was like Max Headroom.
Did I? But here's one. I know you've not watched it, so I'm not going to ruin it for you.
No, don't spoil today's game for me yet.
But I have told you. 20 minutes to go. We've been talking about the Paulie head-to-head today in the Saints game.
Yeah.
20 minutes to go in the Souths Roosters game today. A similar incident. Compare and contrast the commentary. That's all I'm going to say.
Yeah. I mean, Vossi. Was it Vossi?
Hey?
Was it Vossi?
Mate, honestly, Oh, you will cry laughing. It's just the way they commentate on it. It's just outstanding, and that's the way it should be over here. So
Yeah,
why we're gonna want to go through another few bits and pieces with you, but I think it's important again that we just stipulate what we want to do here. So what we want to do is we want to try and get representatives from all 12 Super League teams. Obviously, we do Warrington, but equally we want other Warrington fans as well. Of course, we do. And what the aim is going to be is that when we're not doing it this week, but we'll certainly do it next week. We're doing Warrington on Sunday. We would love to get a Castleford fan to email us to actually get in touch. You can actually go through the Facebook page to email us or message us. We'd love a Castleford fan or two to agree to come on Sunday and watch that game alongside us, where we'll have a little bit of banter, a little bit of sport. We've got to do it, watch P's and Q's and the rest of it. But we'd love a couple of Castleford fans to come on, have a couple of drinks, watch the game with us, and have a bit of fun with us. That's one thing that we want to do. The other thing that we want to do is we want to do it whereby maybe me and Greg have got to decide when it's going to be convenient for us to do this, but certainly one night a week, maybe for an hour, where we will come on like this. We'll talk about the week that was. We'll have a look at the week to come, but again through social media, Facebook, the comments, etc. We want people to get involved in that, and actually, I'm quite happy if as we're doing that particular program, if people was to message us and say they want to actually come on, we'll actually bring you onto the screen as well, and we'll have a conversation. So we'll have a couple of people on, and again, that'll be a right good laugh, to just have a look back at the week that was, bit of sport, bit of banter, happy days, and we want to do that.
And predictions for the upcoming games as well.
Yeah. Well, I mean, the other thing is, I'm right. We could do another thing. We could do is through this channel is do the Fantasy Rugby League, and just have a league. That's it. There's loads of things we can do, but it's like everything. The main things really is the watch along. I think that'll be really good fun. A little bit of a phone in at the end of the week where we just all look back on the week that was, and we have a bit more.
You're making it sound like Swap Shop.
Mate, you're showing your age there. Some people are going to be watching this going, what the bloody hell, Swap Shop? You know what I mean? Like, well, what's that?
For Noel Edmonds, I've got the beard.
Absolutely. So that's basically the aim of it. So like I say, Castleford fans first. Hopefully we get a couple of Castleford fans on. People can then watch what we do on Sunday, and then maybe fans from around the league will go, yeah, do you know what? That was a right good giggle. Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. So before we finish this launch bit, other than hopefully the 75% Greg Inglis that will still probably tear up Super League, who else are you looking forward to seeing in Super League this year?
Do you know what? I know this is Warrington bias again, but I think Widdop will be a different player this year.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I hope he is. I hope he'll be, but I think he'll be a different player this year. I think it's the Matt King syndrome. When we signed Matt King a few years ago, he had a dreadful first season, and it kicked in second season. And I think Widdop will be. I think he's going to be the superstar this season. And I think, as you were talking about top three Man of Steel, I will be surprised if he's not top three this year. That's my prediction.
Based on how he played last year, that's one hell of a prediction, I have to say.
Yeah, but I think there was a lot of behind the scenes stuff last year with Widdop, apparently, if rumours are to be heard. But I think this year Widdop could be the man.
Okay.
So there you go. That's me putting my in.
Yeah, and for me, I have to say Bateman. I think Bateman, seeing him back in Super League, I think the guy's box office. Having watched him in the NRL, he could be pivotal this year for Wigan. They keep him fit. They stand a really good chance. And I think the other thing I would say as well, not necessarily player-wise, but I think this is a big year for Leeds. We spoke briefly about Leeds and Brian McDermott.
Yeah, Leeds have made some very good signings this year.
It's a big year for them, I think, because when you consider how dominant they have been in the for periods of the Super League era, the last few. I know they got the Challenge Cup, and Myler was a different player in that Challenge Cup final. He was outstanding that day.
And Gale played.
Yeah, Gale. Yeah, exactly. So I think, Leeds need a big season. I think Castleford will be knocking on the door. It'll be interesting to see how Huddersfield do. But in terms of top three places, I can't look past St Helens, Wigan, and Warrington personally.
I think, and as a Warrington fan, I think Leeds might push for that top three. I think they made some good signings. I think Warrington, realistically, fourth or fifth.
Okay.
Realistically, anything more than that, and this is me as a Warrington fan, because it's always our year. According to Sky and everybody else, it's always our year. I think, I think Leeds, Saints, Wigan, I think Warrington, I think they'll be top four. I think Huddersfield might be the surprise package with Ian Watson. Made some good signings. And I think Lee. Hull, I don't think Lee will be the whipping boys.
No, I don't. I don't think they will. I think law of averages say that perhaps they may struggle, but yeah, I mean, based on the fact that they've beat St Helens in the close season, they've really run Wigan close tonight.
Yeah,
I think without doubt. And like I just mentioned very briefly, I don't know if you picked it up. We haven't mentioned Hull FC.
No.
And apologies to Hull fans for that. But again, I mean, a lot of attention being put on Jake Connor this year.
Yeah, I mean, this is why we're doing this. We want Hull fans to come on and tell us why we're wrong. We want Hull fans to come on and say, "Why have you not put us in the top four?"
And
that's the whole point behind this.
Exactly.
Let's have some banter with them.
Yeah, they know their team intimately. In the same way that there'll be players. I mean, Matty Ashton, for example, for Warrington. A lot of excitement around Matty Ashton for the future. Yeah. People who don't watch him week in, week out might go, who the hell's Matty Ashton? Well, exactly. We know who Matty Ashton is. And there'll be players that play for Hull, Wakefield, all the teams that, me and you, we see them twice a year, or, the odd game on Sky here and there. But the Wakefield fans and the Hull fans, they know these players.
Yeah,
and again,
exactly.
It's an opportunity to educate us on talent that's coming through that maybe one day will wear a Warrington shirt.
Well, we buy who we like.
Yeah, that's right. So anyway, we've done our best to warm people up to what we're trying to do. As you quite rightly say, we need flavour. We need fans from other teams in here that can fight the corner and have a bit of banter. But as hopefully people have seen in this short bit that we've done to launch it, we don't take things too seriously. We'll pull the legs of Warrington players. We'll find the fun in it. That's what we do.
You have to as a Warrington fan, don't you? Bloody hell.
Absolutely. But we remember the dark days. They're certainly not that dark anymore. But no, good. So you're going, we didn't say that. So let's just end then on a absolute prediction. So who's going to win Super League?
I would love to say Warrington.
Yeah. Who are you going with?
But do you know what? I think Leeds might do it this season.
Do you?
Yeah. Right. They've made some good signings.
Okay.
Although according to Sky, Saints have already got the three-peats.
Yeah, I heard that tonight. Yeah, I did.
Three-peat.
I did.
What's all that about?
Yeah.
Game one, and she's asking Johnny Lomax, you on for the three-peat? Even he was embarrassed by it.
Yeah, it's ridiculous.
It's just,
ridiculous.
Isn't it just?
This far out, that's ridiculous. You know what? It pains me to say this, but I don't know why, but I think when they get everybody back, I think Wigan. And it pains me to say that, but I do.
They will mysteriously get everybody back, just as a playoff start.
They're
really unlucky with the injuries at the start of the season, Wigan. But thankfully for everyone, they get all the star players back just before the playoffs start.
Man of Steel,
I don't know, mate. You know what? I don't know. I couldn't honestly I know I've talked about Widdop and Daz Clark, and you could throw Greg Inglis into the mix. Bateman,
Austin, Bateman. They love Roby. Let's be fair. Roby only has to play half a season. That'll really wind some Saints fans up, won't it? I've said that.
Oh yeah, he was awarded the Harry Sunderland Trophy tonight by Sky.
That was Lomax tonight, wasn't it? Lomax got it tonight.
Yeah, no, he got man of the match, and because Robbie got a titty late, they gave him the Harry Sunderland Trophy. Brilliant commentary. Look at Robbie there, running and catching the ball. Yeah, he's a rugby league player. That's his job. That's his job. That's what he's paid to do, lads.
Oh dear me. Oh, dear
anyway,
that's it now. The amount of people going, the amount of Saints fans now who are gagging to get on here now. That's hey, happy days. They'll be very welcome. But yeah, Bateman for me, Man of Steel. And if I was to go an outsider for Man of Steel this year, I'm going to go Connor at Hull.
Jake
Connor at Hull.
There's Truman at Castleford.
Yeah.
I don't know. Man of Steel. I don't know. Do you know what? I'm going to say Gaz Widdop.
Right, you're going Gaz Widdop.
Yeah.
Right,
I'm going Gaz Widdop.
I've wrote them down just as we just so we can look back on it at the end of the season and see how embarrassing it was that we got it all wrong. But that's it. Anyway, mate, look, for people won't know this because I'm putting this out in the morning. We're actually sat here at 2 minutes to midnight.
Hey, that's a great song by Iron Maiden, mate.
2 minutes to midnight. So I'm respectfully going to bring this now because we could sit here till 1, 2 in the morning.
I'm respectfully bringing it in because my phone's about to die, mate.
Outstanding. So we need a Castleford fan. This is just any fans. Bit of sport, bit of a laugh, bit of a giggle. Instead of it all being keyboard warriors, let's get face to face. You know, wouldn't it be marvellous at some point in the season if we've got like 20 faces on this screen? How good would that be?
And do you know what would be even better, mate? You know what would be even better? When crowds are allowed in, we can go and have a pint with them.
Yeah, go and have a pint. And this is and again, really good point. That obviously, we're going to need as many people as possible because we'd still want this to happen, even when, so for example, we would go to watch the game. Of course we would, but there'll be some Warrington fans that, for whatever reason, can't go and watch the game, that do watch it from home. We want them to still do this while we are there. Yeah. And maybe we on the terraces then could dial in at half time and have a bit of sport on the terraces, as it were. And there's loads of things we can do as a bit of a giggle. And who knows, it might just get, even if it doesn't get new people into Super League, what it will actually do is it will strengthen the bond between every rugby league supporter, and in our own way we will celebrate our sport to the best of our ability, and that is what this is all about. Top man, Greg, really enjoyed it, mate. I was all right, wasn't it? I enjoyed it. All right, it was good, lad. People are even going to love that and go, "Who the hell are these two?" Right. Whatever.
How are you going to get all that down into half an hour?
God knows, but I'll try my best. What I might do now is I might do snippets through the week as well, because we've got enough in there to just do little teaser trailers. But 2:30 we're on Sunday. Allegedly. Allegedly. So I will see you then, mate. Have a good Saturday and enjoy the 2 games tomorrow, mate. Yeah. What are we saying? Catalan and Leeds. We're saying. I said I fancied Hull and Leeds. Hull KR and Leeds. I fancy. You went Catalan and Leeds, didn't you? So that's Wakefield in a draw then. It's what? That's Wakefield in a draw then. Yeah, probably. Yeah. We'll show our understanding of this great game of ours by getting it completely wrong. Sorry, golden point. Yeah. No, lovely, mate. I'll see you Sunday. Cheers for that. Take care, mate. All the best. Bye, mate. See you soon.